Good evening.
This conference will now be recorded.
This open meeting of the Town of Auburn Board of Health is being operated as a hybrid format under Chapter 107 of the Acts of 2022. The public can join the meeting remotely by telephone number 224-501-3412 and access code 236-529-341, or they can join via computer at the link posted on the town's website. All supporting materials that have been provided to the members of this body are available on the town's website. The public is encouraged to follow along using the proposed agenda. My name is Eric Otteson, Chairman of the Board of Health. Please permit me to confirm that members and persons anticipated on the agenda participating remotely are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, respond in the affirmative. Kara Westerman.
Here.
Carolyn Griffin.
Here.
And town officials, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Tim Pratt. Here. Jordan Brusso.
Here.
Darlene Coyle.
Here.
And, I'm sorry,
Roxanna.
Kennedy.
Here.
Excellent. Please note that this meeting is being recorded by Auburn Cable Television. And if there are any members reporting remotely, please state your name at this time. Hearing and seeing none, I'd call the meeting to order. And first on the agenda, approval of minutes of 3/17 first. So do I have a motion to entertain those minutes?
Those are the marathon minutes. Oh, yeah. Yes. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from March 17th, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Carolyn Griffin.
Aye.
Kara Westerman.
Aye.
Eric Otteson, aye. Minutes passed.
Thank you.
And second round of minutes is June 16th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes for 6/16/25.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Carolyn Griffin.
Aye.
Kara Westerman.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Eric Otteson, aye. Sorry, minutes are approved. Next is 6 o'clock hearing at 427 Leicester Street. It's a well variance for a proposed new well. We do have stuff in front of our paperwork here. Is there a motion to open up the hearing?
Make a motion to open the hearing for the well variance at 427 Leicester Street.
Is there a second?
Second.
And all those in favor of opening the hearing signify by saying aye. Kara Westerman.
Aye.
Carolyn Griffin.
Aye.
Eric Otteson, aye. Hearing is now open. Ms. Coyle?
Thank you. The well variance that is before you is for an existing property at 427 Leicester Street. The plan is by DC Engineering and Surveying. This is an existing home. It's actually a very small home, 1 bedroom, on a very tight lot. The soil testing was done. The septic plan came to us, and as part of the septic plan, you can see from this, so just to get bearings for the board, Leicester Street runs here.
Mm-hmm.
The house and the garage are right off of the street, and then the proposed septic is to the rear of the property. There was an existing well that was also in the backyard, and so as part of the septic upgrade that has to happen, the engineer had to relocate the well. So I don't know if you can see that, but I've indicated in blue where the proposed well is.
Okay.
So it's up here in front of the home. Because it's a brand new well, and because it does not meet all the requirements of the setbacks, including the 100-foot setback to the septic system, the proposed septic system, it needs a well variance from the board. Now typically with wells, because this is an area of town of private well and private septic, there's not a option for the property owner to connect to a public water source. So the variance Obviously, we don't get those lightly, but as you can see, the lot, there's really not, it's not really anywhere else for them to put it. As it is, they have some local upgrade approvals for the actual septic. So this is coming before you because they don't meet the 100-foot setback from the SAS to the private well. They have 67 feet, as noted on the plan. And that is causing the board to have to review it and consider whether or not you consider the well variance. As I said, it's a tight lot. I think that they're doing the best they can and would recommend to the board that you consider approving this. In the past, we have done testing for well after the initial testing when the well is drilled. That's up to the board. Right now, the existing well that they have is a shallow well, so it's not very safe or sanitary. So this is going to be an improvement. It will be a well that's drilled, and even though it is close to the road, it will be a better situation than what they have right now for an existing cesspool and shallow well. Happy to answer any questions or give you more information. Kara, can you see it? You want to see the plan? So the blue, can you see that, Caroline?
Yeah.
So the blue is the well. You can see Leicester Street. The house and the garage is very close to the road. And then this area right here is the septic. So the septic plan has been approved, but they haven't moved forward because of the well.
Any board members with any questions?
No, I'm sorry.
If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the well variance for 427 Leicester Street.
Is there a second?
I second the motion for the well variance at 27 Leicester Street. We just offer as presented.
There's a motion that has been seconded, and all those in favor signify by saying aye. Carolyn Griffin,
Aye.
Kara Westerman,
Aye.
Eric Dennison, aye. The variance passes.
Thank you. Does the board want any additional testing besides the initial?
I think just the initial would be fine.
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah.
They tested initially, so.
Thank you.
Entertain a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing of the 427 Leicester Street well variance.
Is there a second?
Second that.
And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Carolyn Griffin,
Aye.
Kara Westerman,
Aye.
Eric Dennison, aye. Hearing is now closed. Moving on, at the 6:10, we have a hearing for Zero Cemetery Road, the proposed new cemetery.
I will make a motion to open the hearing for Zero Cemetery Road, proposed new cemetery.
I second that.
There's a motion that has been seconded. All those in favor of opening the hearing signify by saying aye. Carolyn Griffin,
Aye.
Kara Westerman,
Aye.
Dennison, aye. Hearing is now open. In accordance with Mass General Law 114, Section 34, the local Board of Health in holding this public hearing to approve the use of Zero Cemetery Road for a new cemetery in the town of Auburn. I will now turn the hearing over to Dr. Tahir and his constituents from Ty and Bond to identify their proposed project. Gentlemen, if you want to come up and have a seat. Thank you.
How you doing? How are you? So I want to start by thanking the board for giving us opportunity to present this and update the board about how things have progressed. So these are the final plans that we have. Todd, you want to do?
Sure. As far as, we've been through a long road here, so, and repeating, I guess, of some things. I don't know where you want to start. There was a series of questions that we had, and we did update our plan set relative to the design. Yeah, so there's so many things to cover, so I'm curious if there's a way you want me to start. A little background as far as,
So I think, so I guess, I mean, I've been at each of these, so I think we're at the point where we've been presented. We know that we've had difficulty with getting into a couple of wells, abutting residents for wells. You know, that was one issue that's been outstanding. I don't think we had any outstanding, like, we had a question on what the burial plot was going to look like, and I believe I saw something in the minutes for that, but I think you answered that last time. I know me personally, I know that we've had the town's consultants, the Sanborn head, have gone on the town's end and have gone through that as well. And I think I don't think we've had, is there anything, I guess my question would be more is there anything on the town side of thing that is outstanding for this? And I guess I don't know if you could answer that, sir, through.
I think one of I think one of the primary concerns the town has is potential for impact to groundwater for those people that rely on private water. And I think from the town's perspective, the change of design for the burial plots, now that they're going to be kind of similar to a more typical design in terms of having a crypt, there's a concrete base, concrete walls, concrete cover, versus sort of what we thought was more like the green burial, where the body's placed directly in the soil. I think the fact that it's more almost a typical burial, because of the body is contained, and understanding there's no embalming is sort of not necessarily approved by the community. And I think on top of that, the notion that the depth of groundwater is pretty significantly below the bottom of where the bodies will be placed. So I think there's a fair amount of separation between the burial, the bodies, the crypts, and the groundwater. So I think that separation, that redesign of the burial plots, I think gave the town more comfort, that assuaged their concerns about potential impacts to groundwater. To go on just in terms of the groundwater monitoring we talked about, I think that the ground monitoring proposed in the revised soil management plan makes sense. We're comfortable with that. And I think that what we've talked about a bit is I looked at some of the groundwater monitoring programs in some of the field management plans for the reclamation facilities throughout the Commonwealth. And I think we agree that there's not a need for in perpetuity groundwater monitoring once you basically completed the closure of the landfill, as it were, capping it and placing getting your plots ready. So I think typically with other reclamation facilities, there's an obligation for 2 years of post-construction monitoring. So I think that might be a way of providing some comfort to the town in terms of just ensuring that there's not going to be an impact to groundwater. And I understand that under the Mass Contingency Plan, you have obligations to monitor groundwater anyway as part of getting closure under the regulatory program. So I think those things kind of can come together and serve two purposes at one time. And I think finally, the other thing that we thought was a great idea on your behalf is that you will connect with Mass DEP and request that they provide an audit of the project in lieu of a consent order, which makes sense to us, that they could provide that feedback to the applicant, and then that will provide more certainty for the town that the DEP approves and agrees with the approach and the sampling program that's proposed. And I think that would also help assuage the concerns the town may have in terms of just another party that's their job is to be protective of the environment, stating, yes, this makes sense to us, we agree with the approach, or if they don't agree what the tweaks may be, to sort of get them moving. And I miss anything on that?
I think you hit all the points that we had discussed, and very much appreciate your summary of everything. And as far as Tim, can you just talk about the for the testing, the groundwater testing that would be put in place for 2 years? Is that going to be the same testing and of what they would do normally for MCP?
I think that makes sense given the nature. So the interesting about this project is there's already like sort of an uncontrolled dump that was placed there. And through the work that Ty Bond had done, sort of determined what the contaminants concerned in groundwater are. And they're primarily metals and one in a compound, tetrachloroethylene. So I think, given that that landfill's been there for a long time, I don't envision that bringing in cleaner soil is going to contribute to a groundwater problem, because we've already seen what the groundwater impacts are, and they're not that significant. So I think the groundwater monitoring program seems reasonable to me as a licensed professional. Again, I would defer to DEP, because ultimately they're the folks that have sort of the final say in what they're comfortable with as far as protecting the environment and resources for the public. But I think overall, as a fellow LSP, I don't take issue with the proposed plan and parameters for groundwater sampling, given the nature of the contamination been identified.
Thank you. And if I would offer, Tim and Steve from Sanborn had spent a significant amount of time with Jordan and I and Tim. Tim, are you able to bring up the groundwater diagram? Because I think it's important to show what Dr. Saeed had mentioned, but Tim was able to explain this particular diagram.
Yeah, go back to that image and I'll just sort of point some things out. This is a time bond drawing. It's kind of a cross section through the proposed redevelopment. So this is essentially the ground. This is the existing ground surface. Comes down like this. Is the access road, which is like, I think that's Cemetery Road essentially.
Yeah.
And then, so this is the waste material that was discovered at the property that started the whole process. And this right above, this is sort of the top of natural soils or rock that's below the property. So the plan is that Time Bond will raise the grades by bringing in this what's called less than RCS1 soil. It's very low contaminated soil from like development sites. So the contaminants are not above state standards. They're not above reportable concentrations, but they're measurable. So it isn't like pristine, but it's very clean. So the idea is to raise the grades using that material. And then this will be the area where the burials will happen. So this is where the 1 or 2 level burials will occur. So you can see that there's fairly separation between the burial area and top of natural soils. And like the groundwater table is down kind of around.
Yeah, that line, yes.
So the groundwater is fairly deep relative to where the existing waste is, or what got us here in the first place, the input soil and the burial grounds. So there's a good amount of separation between this. So this is elevations 10 feet per this little graphic. So I think, that's what, Time Bond, I just pulled that out of the elevation data you had provided in your documents and just sort of plotted where more or less the top of groundwater would be across that area, just to demonstrate to the town that you are pointing out that there is separation between the existing materials and the imported materials.
And about what's the vertical distance? Because I think you had mentioned somewhere in the range of.
Yes, I think where you are can be like 30 to 40 feet.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
ultimately, yeah, it will be, yeah.
So 20 to 40 feet is going to be the separation. So I think that was significant for us to understand. The project itself, the Board of Health is the responsible party for approving a new cemetery, because of the fact that there's an existing landfill that's been there for years and years that was discovered as part of this process. The MCP process, mass contingency plan, is going to take care of the landfill part. We would take care of the cemetery, and then the additional testing that they're going to do is going to be like one of the conditions that Tim has suggested. And then just to clarify, I think Dr. Saeed, you had said that there's going to be a total of 2,000 graves.
Sites, yeah.
2,000 grave sites. And they can go too deep, so it'll be a total of 4,000
So
bodies.
all of them will have capability of being double graves. But this will be decided in the beginning. It's not like you can convert a single grave into a double grave, because the hardware that is put in, the concrete vault, is totally different for double grave.
But it wouldn't be more than 2,000 grave sites.
It will not be.
So I think that's an important thing for when the board, considers their vote, for the total number of grave sites that we would be approving, and then pair that in with the town's consultant, those recommendations for what we would put in place for the testing. Showing them I missed something.
No, Tim, if you can go to the other, the last one, I believe it is. This explains this document. If you scroll up to, this is a great example right here. This is where the grave sites will have, vaults. So this on the left is an example of a 2 grave, vault. And, that's why he's explaining that if it was to be a single vault, there wouldn't be ways to transition it to a 2 vault after someone has already been buried. If I think maybe a page or 2 ahead of that gives you a diagram of that, explaining the double versus the single. Those are also in your packets as well, to show that these bodies are encapsulated in a concrete vault.
But that says no concrete floor.
Yeah, so that's the modification. This is an older presentation. So we change it to now there'll be a concrete floor
Okay.
underneath the body, both.
Dirt on top of that.
Yeah. If you go to those diagrams,
And now that
so that's
was,
the standard one. It has those floors in it.
that was a change from when the project started.
Right.
And through the discussions with Dr. Tahir and his team, when we raised those concerns, because there are two residential properties abutting this cemetery, to have a green cemetery, you need a lot more distance to the private wells. So Dr. Tahir took a significant change to the project, and now this is similar to a regular cemetery where you have concrete vault for the bodies. And I think it's also important to point out, because Mr. Murphy and Mr. Curtin also identified that the well at 20 Cemetery Road, which is located in Auburn, has been tested. And it was identified that there were no significant health concerns.
Yeah, no detections for what we have at the former dump, yes. And it was sampled by Time Bond and also by Mass DEP.
So I think that's important to point out. And the well at the alternate abutting location is 12-14 Cemetery Road, which is actually located in Leicester. Several attempts have been made to test their well, but we actually had this, Todd, can you just explain that diagram?
So,
2 yellow notes there.
This is the bot use area. So we have the green line just to show the perimeter of that. And then we added a 100-foot buffer line just to get appreciation. This is the parcel line of our site. As you can see, we're not even close to that. This is the 20 Cemetery Road property. We do have in our survey existing condition plan, this house as well is actually to the south of the house. There's a garage right here. So that's a verbal from him. We didn't see it, but the owner did call us after multiple visits. So it is well over 200, if not 300 feet away, I guess, in the distance. This well, we have a well completion log that's been filed with Mass DEP, has a coordinate system for the well. Their house is actually just off of, it wasn't, the scale that we used, it's further, it's right up here, and it's to the west of their house. So we are not within 100 feet of either one of those as far as our cemetery use area.
So I think from our review and going through this process, our concerns have been addressed by the professionals.
Just to add, if it's just so groundwater flows this way, it's to the east. So these aren't really considered like down gradient of those wells. That well is 300 and something feet into bedrock. We don't have a well completion log for this property. He doesn't have it, the owner doesn't have it, we can't find it online. But typically because ledge is so shallow, it's going to be a bedrock well in this area. Secondly, it sounds like they don't have huge fractures, so that means that they had to drill deep to get the amount of water that they needed for those houses, at least for the 14 Cemetery Road. So the likelihood of impacts is extremely small.
Gotcha. Here's the only question I have is with the town consultants. Any concerns that you have, the needs and questions have been met?
No, I feel pretty good about sort of the changes that have been made. And you know, DEP's been involved. I mean, you give Time Bond credit for reaching out to DEP. They weren't obligated to do so, but they did just, I think, because it helps move the project forward and provides more comfort to both the applicant and the town. So I don't have any outstanding concerns about this project. And not that I think working with the town, we've been able to go through quite a few questions and concerns and been able to address them internally and with feedback from Time Bond. So I don't have any outstanding concerns about the project.
And a quick update, just so you know, that Mass DEP we've reached out to them about the audit of our most recent submittal. And by the end of September, I haven't forwarded that to Tim, but Kevin Dowse got back to us and said that they are looking to do that by the end of that. And that's as much for, just to get sort of that feedback, is the soil that we're bringing in, that less than RCS1 soil, the unregulated soil. We just want their take on, you know, the monitoring program, as Tim mentioned, and the groundwater, everything about this project, which we've had, and Dr. Saeed's had from the get-go, is to try to get them involved, and they have been very helpful.
Board members have any questions?
No.
All right. So I would entertain a motion, entertain, oh, sorry.
Sorry, we did have one public comment.
Just wanted to talk about public comments. It doesn't look like anyone's here or online. That's,
They have to.
That's David Murphy.
yes.
No, we want to take the public comments if there's any during the hearing, and then we'll close the hearing.
Okay.
Sorry about that. We had,
Oh, once the hearing is closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just see that your consultant, David Murphy's on the call, and Mark Santora, is he?
Yes. He is a prospective contractor of the project.
you
Okay,
mentioned that, okay.
okay. So if there isn't any public comment from any of the, people on virtually, I'd like to just read out a public comment from, a written response that we received back from our abutters notifications. So this is just, this came in on Friday, September 5th from National Grid. Good morning. I am a contractor working on behalf of National Grid, and I just received a public notice stating that there will be a hearing for a proposed cemetery located at 0 Cemetery Road. National Grid has properties and easements in the area, and I would like a copy of the plan and application to ensure that there are no issues with encroachment. Thank you, Craig Kimball, right-of-way agent and right-of-way and survey engineering, operations support New England for National Grid. So that was submitted to us by email. I responded to him early this week with the site plan showing this buffer zone of the cemetery with the 100-foot green radius. He replied, "Thank you. I have not heard further," and it looks like there is no representative from National Grid. So I
So
believe
you shared the.
yes, I shared that plan with him. So I haven't received any further correspondence or questions from him,
Thank you.
other than acknowledging that they received it.
And that was the only written comment that we received. We did send out, just for the board's comfort, the public hearing was advertised twice in the local paper, T&G. So that was confirmed. Tim actually has confirmation. So it was advertised for 2 consecutive weeks before this hearing. The abutter notifications were sent out as well. So the public has been properly informed. The process has been followed, and we are happy to answer any further questions.
Is there anyone remotely? I see Mark Santora and Murphy. I believe Mr. Murphy, you were part of the you're part of Ty and Boston.
I am.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Mark Santora, we've asked, that's
I think that's Dr. Tahir's.
So I'm in negotiation with him about taking up the project as the contractor, so.
I see, I understand. Okay. Okay. Close and then vote. Yeah, okay, all right. Any board members have any further questions? All right, so then, hearing seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to close the hearing.
I make a motion to close the hearing for, Zero Cemetery Road, proposed new cemetery.
Is there a second?
Second motion?
And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Carolyn Griffin,
Aye.
Kara Westerman,
Aye.
Eric Otterson, aye. Hearing is now closed. So then, if there's any further discussion, I entertain that now. And then we would have, so the four options that the board has before it are to approve the proposed cemetery. The next would be approve the proposed cemetery with conditions. Third would be deny the proposed cemetery. And the fourth would be take the matter under advisement for a vote at a subsequent meeting. Those are our four options. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to vote to approve the proposed cemetery.
Is there a second?
Can I ask a question? What two would be with conditions? What does that mean?
We would set like conditions like as far as, you know, if the board member wanted anything extra. That would be the conditions that we would propose on top of that.
So the conditions that you may consider is the approval of the cemetery is going to have the number of proposed grave sites as we discussed. So Dr. Tahir is proposing 2,000 grave sites, and that no more than 2,000. And then the Sanborn Head, the town's consultant, identified recommendations as part of his discussion. So it could be, if you do consider that for the conditions presented by our LSP, Tim Stay, and also the amount of grave sites for this. I think that understanding this is a beneficial use of the property. Right now, it's a landfill that's been there for years, and this would move us forward.
But that's already stated.
Yeah, that's what I
Already
when I
stated.
voted, I took it to mean that if we approve it, that it's kind of approved with the plan that he has in place and the conditions that the consultant put in place.
Did that answer your question? Okay. So there is a motion. Is there a second?
I make a motion to approve the proposed cemetery.
I just need a second.
I second the motion.
Second motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Carolyn Griffin,
Aye.
Kara Westerman,
Aye.
Eric Otterson, aye. The proposed cemetery is approved.
And just for clarification, to include everything that was discussed.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure I understand the
Yeah.
point.
So another step do we, as far as, I know we have another step, but,
Yeah.
As far as we go, we're done. We're approved.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, so what our next step would be is Jordan and I will prepare an approval letter for you outlining the recommendations as identified by our LSP for the proposed cemetery for the amount that you presented. And I believe separately, you have a town warrant that we're going to be submitting by Friday.
Yes, we're working on it.
Yes, okay. So we will be in touch with you within the next
Great.
day or two.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Very helpful working with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Moving on, the next thing would be communicable duties of any open cases that we have. Is there a reason?
We'll be in touch. Thank you. Thank you, Steve, too.
No problem.
Right, and talked about the town meeting warrant, meeting date, that type of stuff.
Yeah, so the town meeting warrant, the warrant is open until this Friday, the 12th. And the town meeting, fall town meeting, I believe is the last Tuesday, October 28th. So as long as the warrant articles are in by the 12th, they'll be considered for town meeting in October. And once we get the actual town meeting warrant, I'll share that with the board.
Okay, sounds good.
Can we answer any other questions?
I'm all set.
I'd also like to just make a special thank you to Jordan and Tim. This was a pretty big project to handle, and they did an outstanding job. So I just wanted to
Thank you for all you do.
I know, that
recognize them.
huge.
Once in a lifetime kind of view,
Yeah, interesting, right?
career-wise.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, yeah,
Congratulations, good work.
Yeah.
Thank you for all you do.
I know.
And if anyone has anything else, I need a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
I make a motion to adjourn?
And all those in favor signify by saying aye. Caroline Griffin,
Aye.
Karen Westerman, Eric Madison, aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
This conference is no...